Hey, what is up, everybody? We are back again for another season of The Amazing Race 34. Wow, what an off season it was. Coming off the Holderness family winning Amazing Race 33. Just a crazy season with the break and not all the teams coming back. So this season, really looking forward to having no breaks and no crazy pandemics. Uh, Joining me tonight is Calbert. Calbert's back. Calbert, how you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Let's go with season 34. This should be fun.
Yeah, we got a lot to discuss. Some new changes in this season compared to last season for sure. But Calbert, before we start with season 34, any final thoughts on season 33 in general?
I thought it was a pretty good season. I didn't really hate any of the teams. Well, I hated a couple of the teams, but most of those teams were. And I thought the right team won it all. They were really
Yeah.
they were really good. They really were. So
Yeah, they pretty much dominated from like episode 5 and beyond. So that was pretty solid. I think some things about season 33 I liked were, they had their own plane, which was kind of cool, but I didn't care for it was so predictable to know when the non-eliminations were going to happen. And I know that wasn't all their fault because of what, the team's not coming back, but we didn't have a U-turn, or we didn't have any U-turns. So that was a little disappointing. So I hope they kind of come back in this season. But so let's talk about Amazing Race 34. I guess we can kind of talk about location. We don't know exactly every place they're going to go to, but it's going to be more than Europe this year, which is going to be cool.
and we know
Your thoughts?
And we know where they're going to start. So they're going to start in Munich, Germany. We know that for sure. It even says that in the preview for tomorrow. It does say a 12 team start and one team gets eliminated, so we know, and it's in Munich, so we know that. It's gonna be fun. I'm glad that they're kind of opening up to kind of like how Amazing Race has always been.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna go to a couple new places, which that'll be fun.
Yes, and I believe they're definitely going to be hitting some African countries. I believe we got some Asian countries, more of the Middle East. We might even have a South America. We have some South America, I believe. Don't quote me, but not any I didn't see any real Asian countries in there like Japan or China or Vietnam. So it might be a little harder to get into, but it's for the most part, this looks like a not maybe fully back to the original Amazing Race, but a lot closer to it than we were last season. So that is going to be really cool in itself. Let's talk about the other thing, though, that sticks out. So normally on Amazing Race, we have 11 teams. Well, this year we have 12. Your thoughts on 12 teams?
It's a good even number. I mean, it's going to get knocked down. It's going to get knocked down to 11 pretty quick. I like the fact that it's 12. That's an even number. That there's some more thought that goes into it. As far as our power needs go, at least for to begin with a few weeks. So yes. I like 12. 12's fine. I just hope that if the team gets eliminated, that's my one concern, is that what happened with last year is teams will get eliminated, but then they'd come back. So if they get eliminated, I hope that's it. Like, you're done. Thanks for coming. See you at the finale, and so we'll see. But I do like.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right, and this is not the first year. This is not the first season they've had 12. Some of the earlier seasons they have done 12 in the past. It's been a while though since we've had 12 teams. I'm excited for that. Another thing that I did hear, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I heard this, that there's going to be no non-elimination legs this season.
Good.
So we had so many last season. I'm sure they probably just want to give us none this season. So I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
No second chances. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's survival of the fittest here. So, so another thing that kind of stuck out to me, and we're going to go over the cast here in just a second, but a lot of teams from California, I've noticed. Did you notice that too?
Yeah. I did notice that. A lot of teams from California and from the South, which I thought was kind of
interesting. Yes, those seem to be the two big regions that they're hitting. So, there's some interesting teams in here. There's a couple celebrities, not a lot though, not that much, just a few.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, without giving any of the actual people's names, because we will go over them, but your first initial thought of this cast?
Without really knowing the cast, but I did notice a few names. That's going to be interesting because one particular person actually just competed in a competition this summer for a CBS show. So I don't know if that's going to play in to account or not. We'll see. But I did notice that some of them made me laugh.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
the one that made you laugh quite a bit.
Yep.
But I don't. The question is, will you be rooting for that team or will you be not rooting for that team? Is the question. So
that's right. Right.
All right. Well, and I guess the last thing I want to talk about before we kind of go over the teams is, did this season kind of sneak up on us? Because there wasn't a lot of hype on this.
A little bit, yeah.
It's just kind of like,
they actually shot this. They shot this from May, the last few weeks of May through June. So it's not that long.
Wow.
As a production part goes. But you're right. Like I wasn't sure if we would get one this year, just based off the fact that September,
Right.
So
right. September. When did we end 33? Was it March? Early March? Okay. So it's almost like 2 in a year. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
So, this season it just snuck up on me. Normally we probably would have had this done a week ago, but I don't know. I wasn't seeing a lot of stuff on it as compared to years past. Maybe it's because
I think too that it's going to start on it's going to be on Wednesday. So that's kind of like, I mean, it's not uncommon, right? And I know they don't want to go up against the NFL, but I did think that was kind of that. And it's later too, so meaning 9:00 Central Time, 10 Eastern for Goldberg.
Wow, it's on that late.
It's on late. So that's that was kind of the other interesting thing that I thought of, because normally if they do have an episode on Wednesday, it's usually at 7:00, but not this year. So,
and for you, what time is it going to start for you?
So it would be if I were going to watch it live, I could watch it at 6:00 because it would be 9 out east.
Okay,
but it's weird for it to be on that late. So that'd be 9.
So yours is going to be 7 then, right?
Yeah. So technically, it'll actually air.
Okay.
It'll actually, if I miss the live portion, it would air at 9:00 my time. So that'd be 11 by you and midnight for Goldberg.
Okay. So that'll be okay. I see now.
So it just depends. But I that was something that caught my eye too. Not only the fact that we're doing this, but it's on pretty late. So
So they did one of the seasons later. I think it was like 28 or 27 or 20. It's been a while since they've had this late of a time slot before, but wow, that is kind of late though. Usually, like it was 8 o'clock. I thought the 8 o'clock time slot for Central Time was pretty good.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
9. Wow. Yeah, 9 is pretty late. And let's get one thing straight here. Are we doing I know you're not, but is the rest of the country doing daylight savings fall back? Did that go away or didn't it go away?
There's some legislation that is currently sitting there that they are talking about getting rid of daylight savings time. Now, last I heard, it was an all-go thing, and they're just waiting for a revote and a signature. So
okay, so it's not official.
Not official.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm not sure how that will change things or not, but it's something to keep note of since we are about to hit it. So
so the next time you would switch would be November. So
okay,
just for I believe it's November 5th actually. So
yeah, not too far off from that. That'll definitely be in between the Amazing Race season for sure. So
yep.
So I'm going to assume we're going to have the standard 11 episodes, but sometimes Amazing Race likes to do those double episodes. The opening episode, are we just going to do our episodes, you think, since it's so late? I'm almost thinking they almost have to, right?
I can tell you right now, it's gonna, because I just looked on my guide, it's gonna be an hour. So technically it's 8:59. So 8:59 to 10, it's basically an hour.
Okay.
So at least I think, now I don't know why I haven't looked at this. I could see them because of that. I don't know if there's gonna be there's gonna be 2-hour episodes. I think they could. Okay. I think they might just do it in maybe 10 episodes. I don't know. I haven't looked, but
yes,
I could definitely see that because it's on so late. I don't know, unless they do something like special.
Yeah, they do like an hour earlier, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is they probably have enough time to get it done right before Christmas, I'm guessing. So they may not.
Yeah, which is probably why they're doing it the way that they are. It was my guess, or is my guess, because they don't want to deal with that, and especially with just the premiere week of all the new fall shows. So,
Well, that's the thing. Fall is such a prime. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because the last few Amazing Races we've had like winter, spring. So this is the fall, and the fall is pretty packed. So for them to get a spot in the fall, it makes sense that they got it at 9 o'clock, I guess, because it's like I said, like it's the utility show. You need something to fill for an hour. Here you go. Here's Amazing Race. That's kind of how they do it. So yeah. Well, all right. Let's jump into it. Let's get into the teams here. So the first team we have Aubrey and David. They are Latin American dancers from California, Los Angeles, California, and they believe the race will test them, and that their drive and attention to detail will come in handy on the race. So, Calbert, why don't you start with this team?
I read that and went, okay, so you can dance. That may actually benefit them later, but I was like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of my reaction to them. I was like, okay, like normally it would say like if it's just like I don't know if they're friends because it doesn't say, it's just kind of a weird little bio. Normally there's a little bit more meat to it, but not with this couple. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, you remember Dana and Matt? They won their season. Was that 20? I don't know. I think it was like 28 or 29. I can't remember which one, but That was the team that we would have never thought would have won because they were fighting like so much to the point where they almost gave up, and they got a couple second chances, but they could be that team. You just never know, I guess. So, all right, I don't really know what to think of this team. I don't know if they're high on my list right now, going through it, but I definitely know they're not in my top. That's for sure. So I'm just going to put them, I don't know, middle of the pack as of right now. So, all right. Next team. Next team we have Quentin and Maddie. The Los Angeles Rams retired cheerleaders from Pasadena, California and Vista, California are excited to experience the race together as best friends. So Los Angeles Rams cheerleaders, kind of like the last team, right? I mean, dancers. Yeah, I mean, they can definitely do synchronized dances and routines. I think that might benefit them well, but I don't know. I just don't know. Is this a team I got really high right now? Not necessarily. I don't know if they're going to be the worst, but they might be entertaining. They are best friends, so we'll see if that friendship holds up. But as of right now, I think they're probably middle to bottom tier for me. What do you got on them?
I got kind of bottom. The only reason why I didn't put them dead last is because Quentin is a cheerleader. That takes some strength and some upper body strength. So maybe if he has to like lift something heavy and move it from point A to point, that may benefit him. But just like you, kind of like the last team, I went, okay, cool. You're Rams cheerleaders. All right, cool. We can talk about the fact that the Rams won the Super Bowl last year again. That's kind of my overall reaction of it. They could surprise me, but I don't have them very high. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you think, like, obviously they were put there because the Rams did win the Super Bowl and they kind of want to capitalize on that momentum? I'm guessing is why they were casted. Right. You know, it's kind of weird though that they have two teams that are so similar in, similar like professions basically. So, I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, do you like the dancers from Los Angeles, or do you like the Rams cheerleaders better?
I probably would like the Rams cheerleaders better just because they're friends. So
yeah,
they probably know what makes each other tick. And I don't get the sense just by looking at the picture and reading about their bio. I don't get the sense that it's going to be like the typical, happy-go-lucky cheerleaders. Go team, I don't get that sense from them. I could be wrong, but
yeah,
I would if it came down to a foot race. The fact their cheerleaders may actually help because they have to be kind of quick, right? So
yeah.
If I were, if these four were racing each other, I'd probably lean towards Quentin and Maddie just because of the fact that they're probably quicker just because being cheerleaders. So not that dancers aren't quick, but I would probably lean more towards them just because of the endurance factor.
Well, I do want to point out that, okay, so Aubrey and David are both dancers, and they're both 29, by the way. So they're probably in very good prime shape right now.
True. True.
But do want to point out that David is also a helicopter mechanic. So let's not sleep on that fact. I mean, that's taking some brains to do what he does. So
he could do very, very well in like the puzzle figuring out tasks, I would think. Like, that's his role.
Whereas the Rams cheerleaders, they're like still like both their professions are still with dance. It seems like.
True.
Quentin is a choreographer, and Maddie is a dance coach, apparently. So it's not like they really strayed too far. Whereas if you look at the Latin dancers, they seem like they have a little bit more skills that are present there. So that might actually give me the nudge up, but it obviously depends on the task as well. So, I mean, the Rams cheerleaders, obviously they're in that atmosphere of competing. So, it's something to think about. All right, let's go to the next one. We have our third dance. We have our third dancer in this one. This is Luis and Michelle. They are from Miami, Florida, and they hope there will be some dance challenges so they can show off their moves. Michelle is actually a dancer for Pitbull, or at least was a dancer for Pitbull. And Luis is a firefighter, and they are a married couple. So, Calbert, I'll let you start with this team.
I kind of get the feeling that because they're married and they do two different things, that this is a pretty good team overall. Like, being a firefighter, you gotta make a quick decision, quickly. You gotta lift heavy things. Being a dancer, we know that there's a lot of dance usually in this competition, so that should benefit both of them. I mean, I kind of have them kind of towards the top portion of the teams, just based off of that, because a firefighter can do a bunch of different things. It's not just putting out a fire, right?
Yeah, no kidding. They are a little older. They're both 34. Not old by any means. They can easily win this. I mean, we just had the oldest team ever with the Holderness family win it last year. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just do not understand the casting of so many dancers. That kind of baffles me a little bit when you only have.
That made me think when I was looking at the list. That makes me think that there might be a lot more dancing in the competition this year than in most years.
Yes,
because you're hiring.
I think you're right. So, I think the dance challenges are going to be tougher too. That's what it makes me think of. True. So I really feel bad for the teams that aren't like dance inclined. So, well, it just depends if it's going to be a roadblock or if it's going to be a detour. So,
true.
Obviously these teams are going to take those dancing challenges, whereas the other teams are not. So I don't know how I feel about this team. I think they could be good. I do like that Luis is a firefighter. He's a little more physical, probably more like he's more able to get his hands dirty, so to speak. Whereas the other two might not be as, especially the Rams cheerleaders. I don't know.
True.
So they're another team. I got them middle, but once we do our power rankings, that'll be that could change. So, all right, this team, next team, we have Marcus and Michael. These are brothers, military brothers from Richmond Hill, Georgia, and Alamogordo, New Mexico. They hope to use their brains and strength to make it to the finish line. These two guys, obviously they got the physical strength. They're both, I believe one was in the Army and one's in the Air Force. So they got that going for them. They seem like pretty intelligent guys. So I don't want to get burned by liking this team like the police officers from last year or last season. But I don't know. I think they're going to do better. I think they're going to be better than them. But I want to know what your take is on them.
They're interesting. They're kind of towards my top portion of the rankings too, because of the military background. I don't know. I guess it depends on, because military people are funny, right? I mean, sometimes they can be really, really smart, and sometimes they can be really dumb. But I like my one concern is because that they're brothers, they could bicker at each other the entire time.
Yes. Yes, we've seen that with brother teams.
Right.
Quite a bit. Marcus is 38, by the way, and Michael is 30. So,
correct.
I mean, not bad. I don't think that should hinder them at all. I mean, they both look like they're in amazing shape. So, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they're a middle of the pack team right now, but we shall see. We shall see. I know you've picked a brother team in the past, so
this is true. This is true, and I'm also just like with you being concerned about picking the police. I was concerned that one of the very first teams that I ever took was a firefighter team.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a little hesitant about possibly picking one, but we'll see.
All right. Next we have Linton and Sharik. This father-daughter team from Brooklyn, New York, plan to balance each other out in order to make it far on the race. Linton is 50 and Sharik is 23. I'm going to let you start this one.
I mean, I think it's cool that it's a father-daughter team, and that tends to do pretty good in the show. I just don't know, just because I know I'm going to get the comments on this afterwards. I don't know, man. 50's getting up there. I'm not saying he can't do it, that Linton can't do it, but it's hard. And I mean, Sharik's going for her masters. So I don't know, like that could be a Pickering team too, you know. I kind of have them kind of towards the middle, but it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, father-daughter teams, I mean, we had our fill with them last season with, was it Natalia and what was the dad's name from Michigan? I told him I'm blanking on his name. But I honestly don't think I can remember a father-daughter team like going like super, super far. Mm-hmm. Maybe even like to a point where you thought they'd win. I remember mother and son. The mother and son team seemed to go do better. But
from last year.
Arun, yep, you're right. Yeah. Arun, yep. And
Arun,
Natalia. Yep. You're right. They were entertaining or not entertaining, depending if you like their shtick. But yeah, this is tough. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to bicker like Arun and Natalia did, but they kind of seem like they could too.
You stole my
brother. He's always telling you what to do, right?
Right.
Come on, Natalia. You got to tell me where I'm going.
You stole my boat.
Yes, you stole my boat. So I got to put them lower on the list. I just because it's just, I don't see this going well. Honestly, they could be my first team out even. All right, moving on. Next week, well, this is an interesting story here. We got Emily and Molly. These reunited identical twins from Ardmore, Pennsylvania, and Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, are excited to spend more time together throughout the race. So this is crazy because they were both adopted. They were split up, and they literally just reunited a year ago. Like, they don't know each other, but yet they're identical twins. So they've only really had a year together. It's like weird. We're going to really find out if that twin magic is real, where you kind of know what the other twin is thinking. But the other thing is they've not really spent that much time together. So to me, this is just more of a great story more than a good team. I got them lower on my list. I honestly don't know. And I could see this team bickering, surprisingly. Like when they don't know each other that well, and especially not probably in a situation where you're going to be thrown into tough thinking and hard decisions. So that's just my thoughts on them. What do you got?
That's pretty much it. You almost took my thought almost exactly to a T. Like, here's an idea. Oh, hello. I haven't seen you in a very, very long time. Let's go around the world. Sounds like a plan. What's your favorite color? I'll tell you when I get on the plane. That was my original thought with them, and I could see them bickering like to no end, because you're exactly right. Like, you have no idea what are you good at. Are you good at figuring out puzzles? Can you speak multiple languages? Can you dance? Can you do physical things? Like, I don't know if I would do that. If it were me. Like, you're exactly right. The story's cool, but I kind of have them. I kind of have them also kind of towards the bottom too, just because of that. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'll figure out what you like to eat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. They are both 36, by the way.
Correct.
So, I don't really. Besides this crazy story, I don't know if they're going to be a good team. It really depends on the tasks at hand. So, I do wish them luck. I mean, I think they both sound like very nice people. So, but we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to our more California casting. I got to shoot on that, by the way. It's like, I know California is a big state and all, but geez, wouldn't you try to have some more representation from other states?
Yeah, there are 4 choices you could add.
Right.
There are more people in different places, but there are quite a bit of people in California. Good God.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on. All right. Say hello to Asta and Nina. This engaged couple from Marina Del Rey, California, hope to fly under the radar and hope to keep their cool in order to not make mistakes. So,
red flag. Red flag.
Yep, you are exactly right. How many times have we seen these dating couples just absolutely lose it on this show? Like, more than we can count.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nina, she was a veteran. I guess she was in the Army as well, but I don't know. I don't know. This is like, it puts your relationship to a big test,
And
so
we've seen in not that far seasons past, like, it doesn't go well.
Yes.
You end up hating that person towards the end.
Yes. If you don't win and things go wrong quickly, for some reason, I'm getting that type of energy from this team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong on there, but just the way they come off, I think we're going to get some good fights between the two. And I don't know. So Asta is 33 and Nina is 34. So the age thing, I don't think it's going to play a factor. Mm-hmm. I think they're still going to be fine that way. But their background, I mean, so Nina is a director of business development and Asta is a VP of operations, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I'm just not that impressed with them. Like, there's nothing that's like standing out to me. I think they could definitely do well on the mental challenges. I think physically they don't look bad, but I don't know. I just don't like the dynamic here as far as them being able to have cooler heads. So we shall see. We shall see. You got any other comments on them? They're engaged, by the way. Not married.
Yeah, that's it's not. I don't think it's going to end up well for them. I think they're going to be one of the few teams that are going to get eliminated fairly quickly. They could be one of the first one.
Yeah. I think you could be right there. All right. So, hey, what do you know? Another team from California. Say hello, Rich and Tom. These dating motivational speakers from Huntington Beach, California, plan to use their social skills to hopefully make it to the finish line. Oh, great. So a team that I'm not going to like, because I can't stand the teams that use the social skills game, even though it is a skill, but it just drives me up a wall.
Right.
I don't know what I think about this team. Dom thinks she's like a fairy or something crazy like that. I don't know if that's just her saying that or if she actually thinks she's a fairy. I honestly don't know. They both look like they're in good shape. I'll give them that. But they seem a little too lackadaisical for me. Calbert, what's your thoughts?
I mean, from a motivational standpoint, they'll be fine as far as having to motivate each other. But yeah, I was just like, okay, one's a gym owner and one's a life coach. Okay, so maybe if you have to stack something a certain way, I guess that would be okay. But I don't think they're going to last very long.
Well, Rich is 35 or 32 and Dom is 35. The other thing is they're just dating too. They're another dating couple. So I don't know. Like Rich seems in really good shape. I'll give him that. But for some reason, they can talk, but I don't see the brains here. I really don't. I don't want to talk bad about these teams because I don't know them. This is just first impressions I get.
Right.
So I'm just kind of going by what I know, and so we gotta put our 2 cents to it. And no disrespect, but I think obviously they look like they're in really good shape. I think that can get you at least to a certain point. But I think they're like 7, 6, or 7 at best, somewhere around there. So
I could see that.
Wow. I have just realized I have not been like super impressed with any of these teams.
I'm rub off on you. That's what it is. So I'm starting to rub off on you. This is what happened last year. Both you and Gober yelled at me about, oh, do you like any of the teams? Yes, I have to like at least one.
Yeah. No kidding. Somebody's got to do well.
Right. Right.
All right. Next, say hello to Will and Abby. These high school sweethearts from Birmingham, Alabama are super fans who plan to use their communication skills to get far in the race. Will is 25 and Abby is, I didn't get to see. I'm guessing. Oh, she's got to be 25 as well. Oh, she's 24.
24.
Okay.
24 and 25.
So here's the difference with most of the teams. Like they've known each other since kindergarten, these two. So they're also super fans. Super fans tend to do really well in this show, just from knowing everything. They look like they studied everything, and they could be the exception that goes out quickly, but they're really young. I do like that. I have this team in the upper echelon. What about you, Calbert?
I have them in the upper echelon just because they're super fans. You're exactly right. Like they know what's going to happen. They've probably watched seasons past just like everybody else, at least once or twice. Okay, this is what we're going to do if we get in this situation. Don't do this.
Yeah.
I
can say too that Will's an accountant and Abby is a data scientist. So they're really good with numbers.
numbers are a very important thing in this game.
Yes.
Numbers are very important. So
yes.
I think they'll do pretty good.
I agree. I like this team a lot. I mean, honestly, I could see them possibly being a potential winner pick here. So that'll make our draft interesting. We'll see. I'm not saying I'm picking them, but I do like them. So as far as just potential winner here. So, all right, moving on. We got Glenda and Lumumba. These newlyweds from Norcross, Georgia, are excited to get to know each other even better on the race. The interesting part about this is Glenda is like 6'2", and Lumumba is 5'7". So yeah, Lumumba kind of jokes about how a lot of people think she wears the pants in the relationship, but he likes to say he irons the pants. So, they look like the fun, happy team, and I don't see them as winners, though. I don't see them as a winner pick. Honestly, They do look competitive. I'll give them that. I could see like anywhere from like 5th to 8th place range. What do you got, Calbert, on this
I
team?
had them just penciled in as 6th, and I've had La Bamba stuck in my head the entire day since I've been writing this team's name down, because that's what it kind of looked like when I originally looked at it. I kind of like Nina and Esthia. The fact that they're newlyweds, I think, could possibly cause an issue because they're newlyweds. So,
the other thing crazy about this team, they've only dated for a year. Then they got married a year later, is from what I gathered. So
yeah,
they're married, but they've only really known each other, from the sounds of it, for like a little over 2 years. So they don't really know. I don't think they really know each other. So here's another experience on the Amazing Race, So
right.
how will they react? They are both 41 too, by the way. So not old, but definitely not on the younger side.
Sure.
I could tell you from playing softball, I'm 37 now, playing against the 20-year-olds. You can definitely see the difference, So, but you got to keep yourself in good shape. They do look like they're in good shape. So I don't think it'll matter with them, but I just want to say too that Glenda is an insurance underwriter and Lumumba is a middle school teacher. So he's good at teaching. That could, underwriter and teacher. That's good skills for the race, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. All right, next team is Derek and Claire. They are another couple from Los Angeles, California. Would you look at that? They are from Big Brother, and they're excited to work with each other instead of against each other on the race. Derek is 24. Claire is 25. Calbert, I'm going to let you start with this team.
Now, normally when something like this happens, when they have a team from a different show, they tend to do very well. I could see them. They could possibly win the entire thing just because they have experience of being on a CBS show with, and the fact that they've
the camera being on them, and then
yeah,
also doing testimonies and competing on a game show. So they have that experience already.
right.
Yep. I agree with you. Big Brother teams have done pretty well too. Like considering.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a Big Brother winner not that long ago, Cody and his wife. So
yep.
Cody, it kind of helped that Cody was a machine too, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Derek is there. I don't know if I got him in my winner, but I definitely think they're top 4 just to start off with. So I don't know. That's where I got them going there. So they got the youth too. So that's going to help them. All right. Now this is a funny one here. I think we'll have a lot to say on these guys. Say hello to Tim and Rex. These golf buddies from Brentwood, Tennessee, hope to lean on each other and think they might be viewed as the underdogs. So, Calbert, I'm going to let you start this one. Why don't you talk about your good buddy, Rex Ryan?
My good buddy, Rex Ryan. Rex, why are you on this show? I don't understand. And that's the thing too. Like we were kind of talking a little bit before the show started about how little prep we've actually had for this season coming up. This was the one guy that we all knew was going to be on the show. And when I found out that he was going to be on the show, I went, why? Why are you doing the show? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So I'm going to ruin the power rankings for right now. He's dead last. Fantastic. I'm great that you work for Sunday NFL Countdown for ESPN. That's fantastic. You're 59. Now, granted, this just goes to show that Amazing Race will goes for anybody. So they're golf buddies. Okay. There's not going to be a whole lot of putting involved in this show. And that's the thing about golf. Like, it's a very frustrating game. You know,
Yes.
you're not playing for a buck a hole here, or $10 a hole, depending on if you make money like Rex does. I don't get it. Like, they're dead last, and they're dead last just because Rex is 59. So yes, I look forward to your messages about me complaining about how Rex Ryan is old, but he is. Now, granted, he's in a little bit better shape than he was when he was coaching, so that's good. But like, that's it. This is just, to me, it's like, when I saw that they were golf buddies, I was like, well, it's not a bro trip. You're trying to win money.
I'm getting okay. So this is gonna go way back in the Amazing Race archives. I'm getting air traffic controller vibes from this team, and that team surprisingly lasted like at least 4 episodes. So I don't know. I honestly, okay. So let's talk about Tim. He's at least only 40, right, and he is a probation officer. So he's at least going to be in somewhat good shape, but how is he going to carry Rex around? You know, it's going to be like he's going to have to do a lot of the challenges, I think, and Rex is going to have to do more of the stuff that, you know, he can, like the thinking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, Calbert, let's go back and take a look at Rex Ryan's coaching history, shall we?
Please.
I mean, you don't have to pull up Wikipedia or anything, but just offhand, he got his fame. I know he was like an assistant coach before he got the head coaching job with the Jets, but the Jets was pretty much his like stardom in the NFL coaching, correct?
Right.
Okay, with Mark's, he had that one team with Mark Sanchez where they were like 13-3. I think they got to the AFC Championship and they got destroyed. Was it to your Steelers, actually?
That is correct. To the Steelers.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to say, yeah, I do remember that now. Was that 2010 or 2000? No, or 2008. I can't remember. It was one of those years.
Yes, it was 08.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right. So, wow. Actually, no.
And I still have visions of chucking the
because
headset.
2008 was Brett Favre, wasn't it? 2008 was Brett Favre year, wasn't it? On the Jets? Sorry to confuse you, but
no,
it was
there before that point. Because they made it back to back years. Because they lost, so they would lose to. Okay, let's see. The Jets beat the Patriots and then they lost to Indy, and then they lost to the Steelers the following year because they made it in back-to-back years. So, you're right. It was 2010. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because I remember 2008 was the Brett. No, that's fine. I had to go back because the only reason I remember that was because the Cardinals, the year they went to the Super Bowl, played the Jets, and the Jets just destroyed the Cardinals. But that was the one where the cheap shot on Anquan Bolden. You remember that? And then Bolden had to get his like mouth wired shut, and you know he was still like kind of recovering during the playoffs. So that's the only reason I remember that was the Brett Favre year. So. Wow, this was such a odd casting. Like, I like that. Like, I think Amazing Race has gone like so many. I don't know. Like, they cast kind of like similar people, but they're finally kind of bringing some more like Joe Schmoes. I know Rex Ryan's no Joe Schmo per se, but he's got the body type of like a Homer Simpson, right?
Right. Well,
why don't we have more of those teams?
It's better than it was, but yeah. I mean,
yep.
I think he had like some type of like gastric bypass or something, which was, you know, good for him. Like,
yeah, good for him.
But
correct. So then, yeah, I'm not. I don't think they're going to go too far, but so then, okay, so he's not. Then after the Jets, he went to the Cowboys, correct? After the Jets,
am I correct? Yeah, correct. And then
yes,
and then
he did coach.
Brother Rob went to His brother Rob went to Dallas, and then he went to New Orleans. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, wait, did Rex coach? Rex coached the Cowboys, though, correct?
No.
He never coached the Cowboys. It was just
not Dallas. Because Rob was. I want to say Rob was, I think, the offense coordinator. This is the sad thing. It's been so long. I think he was either the offensive or defense coordinator because Jason Garrett was the coach at that time.
You're
Garrett
right. Garrett had that job for so.
Right.
You're right. Okay.
So,
let's see here. I'm gonna look this up because I gotta see this here. So he got his claim to fame as a Baltimore Ravens defense
for Baltimore, I bet.
Yeah,
I think
and
yeah. Yep.
He was the Jets coach from 2009 to 2014, and then the Buffalo Bills coach from 2015 to 2016. So he has not coached in 6 years.
And I completely forgot. I mean, I remembered he had a cup of coffee in Buffalo, but that's how long it was.
Yeah. And his overall record as a head coach was 61-66. Not great, but under 500. But his playoff record was 4-2. So not terrible.
Not bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I got him lower. I don't know if I got him last. I think they might be able to luck out and get. I don't know, but I don't have them that low. But they are going to be entertaining, so I'll give them that at least. All right, let's do power rankings. This is going to be tough because I think we had a bunch of middle of the pack teams and only 2 where we really thought highly of. So, Calbert, why don't you start with your 12th place team here?
So 12th is Tim and Rex. I just lambasted them verbally. I just don't see it. I really don't. And you're exactly right. Tim is going to have to carry him for most of it. No, they could. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. Like, I think that I know that they won't say this, but they're looking at this like it's a vacation.
Yes. I think you're exactly right. They're like hoping they don't get eliminated first, so at least they have something to talk about on ESPN, but it's not going to go well. All right. My 12th place team is actually going to be Linton and Sharik. I don't know. They could definitely surprise me and do better, but the father-daughter thing, it's just they are smart. That could give them, that could help, but I want them to prove me wrong. So I'm going to put them at 12. So I guess I'll start with 11. 11, I am going to go with I'm going to go with Emily and Molly, the twins, the identical twins. I don't know. Like, good story, but they don't look like that like tough of competitors to me. So, Calbert, who's your 11?
I have Linton and Sharik at 11, pretty much for the same reason that you said. I see bad things happening for them, and a lot of yelling and a lot of bickering. I'm your father, do what I say, type deal.
Yeah.
I don't have them going far.
Okay. Why don't you start with 10?
So 10, I have Emily and Molly, pretty much for the same reason you said. I just, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But a long time to be away from somebody and to just go, okay, let's go around the world. Only knowing somebody for a year, I don't know. You don't know what they can do, what they like, what they, I mean, okay, you do know what they like, but like, what are their strengths for this? So I think it's going to be short for them, but they won't be the first one eliminated. So
yeah,
so they got
something going for them. Okay, so 10. I'm gonna have, this is where I got Tim and Rex going out. They had a good 3 weeks on the Amazing Race. They got their comedy in, and we got to see them a little bit for the ratings. But yeah, I'm putting them at 10 here. I kind of hope they prove me wrong, but Rex is gonna screw up here. The 61 and 66 is gonna show its ugly head here.
Gonna throw another headset on the ground, I'm sure.
Yes. Yep. So, all right, number 9 here. So this is where it's gonna get a little tough. I'm gonna go. Oh, you just gave your 10. I gave my 10, and now we're on 9.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. 9. Oh boy. I think I'm going to go Glenn and Lumumba. I don't know. Not put them at 9. I don't see them going far. Calbert, who you got at 9?
I got Rich and Dom at 9. They could surprise me, but I doubt it. I mean, being a life coach and a gym owner, okay. So you can yell at people to, do sit-ups. I mean, I don't know. I'm not high on them, so I got them at 9.
All right. Why don't you give us your number 8?
8 is Glenda and Lumumba, kind of for the same reason that you said. Like, they're newlyweds, Georgia. They could surprise me. But I got them at 8. I think at some point something's gonna go wrong. They may bicker for a week, and that may be enough for them to say, "That's it. I've had it. We've gone as far as we can go."
Okay. 8. I also have Rich and Dom. I know you had them at 9. I'm gonna put them at 8 here. I too have my worries about them, and they're not going far. I don't have high hopes for this team. Just too lackadaisical for me. So I got them at 8. 7, I got Asta and Nina. I just something about them. I just don't see them going far. I think to put them at 7 is actually pretty good for me, because I kind of put them a lot. It kind of sounded like I was going to put them a lot lower, but 7th I think is a good spot for them. So I got Asta and Nina going out at 7. Who do you got at 7?
I got Asta and Nina as well. Even though they have a lot of red flags, and there's gonna be a lot of yelling and bickering, they may yell and bicker and maybe win a leg or 2. Possible. We'll see. Not enough to win it, but enough to at least go to a couple different countries. So not terrible.
Who you got at 6?
6, I have Quentin and Maddie. I think the fact that they know each other, they've worked well together, I think that may help. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow. Because for my 6th, I'm also going to put Quentin and Maddie here. I just feel like this is the team. I think they might be villains. I'm getting villain vibes from them, especially when they just the way they kind of say how they're going to play the game. I don't know about this one. I think they're going to be 6th. So, but that's pretty solid, because I kind of, they were the worst dancing team for me, but 6 is pretty good. So that's where I'm going to put them at. Okay, this is where it gets really tough here for 5. 5, I think I'm going to go Marcus and Michael. I think they're going to have a good run. I don't want to get burned like I did last year with the police officers, but I think they're going to be better. But I'm ultimately going to put them at 5. I don't see. I don't know, something about them. I don't see them going all the way. I just think they're too similar in skill set. So But 5, it's a pretty good run. So I'll put them at 5. Who do you got at 5?
I have Aubrey and David at 5. Even though I really don't know a lot about them, I think the fact that they dance may benefit them. Maybe not obviously the first leg because it's Germany, but sometimes it's the quiet ones that do really, really well that we don't think are going to do much and we don't know about. So I got them at 5.
Okay. Who do you got at 4?
4, I have Marcus and Michael. I strongly consider them possibly taking them, but I think the military background is a thing.
Yes.
And we'll see. The fact that they're brothers, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. My 4th. I'm going to put my 4th. I am going to put Luis and Michelle.
Ooh. Okay.
I think they're a strong 4 here, but I don't know if I have them going any farther than that. But to go out at 4 is a pretty solid. So I'll put them at 4. But honestly, this team could go either way. They could really they could be one of the lower teams. Who knows? It's all unknown right now. So I got them at 4 as right now. 3, I have 3. I got Aubrey and David. I'm going to put them in the top. They are quiet, and we've seen how dancers can do well. So I think they're top 3 material. I said before, thinking about them, I like the fact that he's a helicopter mechanic. So I think they have some skill sets here. So I got them at 3. Who do you got at 3?
I have Abby and Will at 3. I think the fact that they know each other like the back of their hand, I think that might actually help. And that they're young. So, it's not going to, if they need to run to the mat, they can do that being 24 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting. Right. They could. That's a team too that could win it all too. They're kind of quiet in that way.
Yes. I totally agree. And they are the super fans of the season. So who do you got at 2?
I have Derek and Claire at 2. And it's just because of the fact that they have experience of being on a CBS show before. So they kind of know what to do. Like, it's not going to take them long. I mean, you'd have to live under a rock to not know how the race works. And being that fact that they're from the Big Brother, I think that benefits them.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I agree, because that's my number 2 as well. So I got Derek and Claire at number 2. I think they kind of give off Team Yale vibes to you a little bit.
They do.
Yep. Just the team you love to hate, but they're there, and they're just going to keep winning, and they're just going to do what they got to do. Yeah, I'm getting that from them. So I'm putting them at 2. So obviously my number 1, I got Abby and Will, or Will and Abby. I think this team screams potential winner to me. I don't know, something about them. They seem very determined. And having said that, since I picked them to win, they're probably going to go out in like the 3rd episode or something. So, but that's why we do it. All right, so I know who your number 1 is, so why don't you announce it and tell us why?
My number 1 is Luis and Michelle, and it's only strictly because of the fact that they're married. We saw what happened last year with the married couple. They won it all. And correct. God help me, I know he's a firefighter, and I must have a soft spot in my heart. I do have a heart. It's black, but I have a heart for being a firefighter. And I think the fact that Michelle's a dancer will help. I think the firefighter's going to help. He's going to have to pick some heavy stuff up. Like, we know that. He's going to have to probably roll some stuff on the ground. That he can do that. And so, sure, now that I picked them, they're going to finish ninth. So.
Well, she is a dancer for Pitbull, so.
True.
Oh, so she's used to traveling. And he's a firefighter, so he's got the physical skills going. So, all right. So those are our power rankings. Now here's normally where we would do the draft, but as you notice, Goldberg is not here. He has the first pick. He complained quite a bit last season, so I definitely don't want to make him more upset by doing a draft without him. So here's what we'll do. We will have our picks done tomorrow morning, and we will announce them on the first episode review. That'll be the first thing we do. So, Chris or Calbert, do you have a general consensus of who you're going with?
Yep.
Do you have a plan B in case your pick is taken?
So when my pick is taken, because I know it will be, I do have a plan B. Yep.
Okay, that is good. Could this be your year, Calbert, to pick the winner?
No, because it's never my year for that. I'm the bridesmaid. I always get close. I never win, and something stupid's going to happen to my team towards the end. That's probably going to cost me, and then I'm going to complain about that for the entire season.
Well, I think both of you and me, we want to have strong years because the original teams we picked last season, unfortunately, didn't come back. So we're looking forward to just riding with the team the whole way. So that, we're pretty sure that's not going to happen again. So that'll be fun. My only hope this season is there's no big alliance like in 32.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a little bit of it, but when it carries through the whole season, that's when I got some beef with it. And I don't think there will be. So with 12 teams, might be a little tougher to do that. And hopefully they split them up more. So that would be nice. But yeah, those are the things I hope for. And obviously good challenges and good locations. That's all I care for. But that'll do it for our Amazing Race 34 preview show. We will be back to recap episode 1. Probably not tomorrow night, but possibly Thursday. So, any final comments, Calbert?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to the places that they're gonna go, and hopefully we get to pick the teams we want, and hopefully they do well. It's gonna be interesting. So, looking forward to tomorrow night.
I'm excited for when Rex, Ryan, and Tim make it past the first episode and how much you're going to shoot on them.
and now it's into existence, so it's going to happen. So
yep, they're just going to annoy you.
God help me if they win.
Headset.
Oh man, if they win, oh man.
Wouldn't that be something?
Good God, yeah, that would. I'd be stunned. I would go out and buy a lottery ticket because that's about as good of a chance like they have. So
even if they make it top 5, I think that would be.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
I mean, if D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage can't even win it, what are the chances of Rex Ryan and his buddy Tim?
Right.
So yeah. All right, we will be back soon to host episode 1 recap. We will see you then. Hopefully we will have Goldberg. Hopefully he stops jobbing it up and I don't know, doing whatever he's doing right now, probably sleeping, the lazy bastard. But anyways, we shall see you. Peace.
Have a good night, everybody.